I'm going to explain to people what happened to this word. The word opinion was a thing that was used a lot in 2013 in cartoon and started with the cartoon community, like, Rebel Taxi or Mr. Enter or Matthew Davis the movie lover and nostalgia critic and angry video game nerd. But now it means something completely different. An opinion is like see the word opinion like a board game. There are rules to having opinions. But if you break this one rule, also there's this thing called common sense, which is a lot more important than opinions. But opinions are supposed to be safe and not offensive. Opinions can only exist in the cartoon community or opinion on pop culture. Opinions cannot exist in politics. You use common sense instead. If the word opinion is just a word used for pop culture, not political things, but some people with, I guess, really just have huge problems in life with their lives, or they just want to bully people. If you disrespect people's opinions, that is mean, because you're telling them they can't feel that way towards a certain TV show. And I don't want TV shows to ever become political things. They are fiction. They're inoffensive. You can't hurt TV shows like you hurt people. So a disagreement on a piece of fiction is not offensive. I just really want to discuss this word that has been around since 2013 in the YouTube cartoon community. The respect my opinion was a movement or a phrase used in a lot of videos in 2013 by 12-year-olds that were talking about cartoons or 25-year-olds. Respect my opinion is a really deep phrase that you need to look more deep in because it's common sense. Again, this is a board game for the cartoon community. You cannot disrespect people's opinions because you just look like a loser. You're not edgy. I don't get why a lot of these it's mostly people that are like, oh man, I just love that 1960s lame bullying. Oh, you nerd. Oh, ha ha. You're not edgy. Being edgy is piercing your nose or having knives around you. That's real being edgy. Disrespecting people's opinions is not edgy. It just makes you look annoying and obnoxious. An opinion is a board game for the cartoon community. You need to realize that. It's a board game. It's an opinion. An opinion is a harmless thought that has to be safe and politically correct and socially correct. It cannot be extremely offensive, or you just come off as rude. I don't think a lot of these people that realize this, that do disrespect people's opinions, sometimes it's hard for me to tell if they're just trying to be annoying or they just don't understand what it means in the cartoon community. An opinion, if I'm gonna see something that doesn't need to have opinions on it, just needs to do it because it's the right way to do things. Let's say, in my opinion, it's okay to kill people. That can't be an opinion because it's offensive. It's a board game. It's common sense. You can't do that because it's politically incorrect and it's offensive. Opinions have rules. Opinions are supposed to be harmless and safe. They're not supposed to be offensive. You can have an unpopular opinion on TV shows. You're supposed to live. I'm just trying to explain what an opinion is supposed to mean, but it's hard for people to understand that. An opinion is not supposed to be taken this seriously. Only if it's violent. If you have a violent opinion, it's not an opinion. You're just being politically incorrect and you're being a psychopath. You can only have opinions on pop culture. Pop culture opinions is what I'm talking about. Pop culture is not common sense. It's fiction. But if you disrespect my feelings, then you just come off as being stupid. As long as you have good criticism. It's pop culture opinions is what I'm talking about. Pop culture. Pop culture and the internet culture is the only types of opinions I give. I don't really give opinions on how people look because I think that's rude and I see them as people. I actually care about them. I see them as people. I can't say they should kill themselves because they have a big nose. That just makes you look crazy. It's offensive to say that. I mean, if it's humor, that's fine, but if you actually want people, it's hard for people in communists to understand. If you actually don't believe in common sense, you can't have an opinion on common sense if it's offensive. You can't have offensive opinions because it's common sense, it's offensive and wrong.